All right, welcome back to Nadlan Forum Podcast Daily. It's Ruby here, ready to get into something that's honestly blown my mind this year. Lior, I hope you brewed a strong coffee for today because, mate, we are talking about the American dream being totally flipped on its head. So, here's the deal, folks. Renting is now cheaper than buying in 39 out of 50 of the biggest US metro areas. That's not just a blip, that's practically everywhere.
Yeah, Ruby, it's wild. I mean, everyone used to say, buy as soon as you can. That's how you build wealth in America. But fast forward to 2025, man, that wisdom doesn't work anymore. In 2021, buying had the advantage. Monthly mortgage payments were lower than average rents almost everywhere. Now, on average, renting actually costs about 53% less than owning. The numbers just don't add up for ownership today. Between these crazy high home prices and, of course, mortgage rates that have just skyrocketed.
I was just talking about this with my cousin in Miami. Honestly, she was all set to buy like 2 years ago when things felt a bit intense but kind of doable. But now, she checked out the numbers on a mortgage and, no joke, her payment would have shot up to more than double her current rent. She just laughed, like, no way, I'll renew my lease instead. And it's not just Miami. This isn't just a coastal thing. It's happening everywhere from Seattle to Kansas City to even Oklahoma City, all sorts of places where you wouldn't expect renting to win.
Right. And it's not even just about preference now. It's basic math. As you mentioned, Ruby, mortgage rates, they went from below 3% not too long ago to above 6% now. Couple that with home prices up nearly 45% since 2021. And people's incomes, well, those haven't kept pace at all. What used to be the safe bet, the steady path to security, is, for a lot of middle-income folks, just a dream for maybe someday.
I know we covered affordability in our last episode, not to rehash that, but this, Lior, feels like the next stage. It's not just that it's hard to buy, it's honestly smarter for most folks right now to rent. And people were always told renting was just this temporary thing, but now it's a genuine lifestyle choice, sometimes even a necessity.
So let's dig into where things have gotten the worst. Miami, you've got your cousin there, right, Ruby? Home buying used to be tough but doable. Now, mortgage payments there have literally surged by over 200% since 2021. And that's just crazy. Like, rents rose to about 40%, but nothing like what happened with home ownership costs.
Yeah, she was floored when she ran the numbers. And Miami's just the poster child, but look at Oklahoma City and Kansas City, places famous for being affordable. There, mortgage payments are up 167% and 128%. I mean, that's like, sorry, affordability. It was nice knowing you.
Exactly. And if you look at these coastal tech hubs, San Francisco, San Jose, Seattle, Denver, it's just, I don't even have words. In San Francisco, mortgage payments have gone from maybe $400 a month in 2021 to nearly $8,900 now. And rent didn't even double. Ownership now costs almost twice what it does to rent a similar place in some of these markets. Even with a tech salary, you're stretched.
I mean, as you said, even folks with solid incomes are saying, forget it, I'll keep renting. And then you've got people getting creative, co-buying, variable rate loans, bigger down payments. Wait, actually, you mentioned last week you had a client in New York who did some kind of co-buying deal to get into the market. Did that actually work out, or was it kind of, last ditch?
Yeah. So this particular couple, well, two couples really, old college friends. They pooled resources for like a kind of house hack just to put together a big enough down payment to qualify. I'll tell you, it's not as rare as you might think these days. I used to see that only in places like California. But now, even here in New York, this is how regular people are getting a piece of the real estate pie. Sometimes it works. Sometimes, well, people hit roadblocks and end up backing out. Pressures get too high. or one person gets cold feet. But it speaks volumes that people are willing to try almost anything outside the traditional path just to keep that ownership dream alive.
It really does. The fact that renting is so much cheaper, even in the affordable cities, honestly, is flipping the whole rule book. Like, I don't know, Lior, do you think this is all just temporary? Or are we looking at the new normal?
Barring some massive market shift, like rates suddenly dropping or home prices correcting sharply, I think this rent-first reality could stick around for a while. Most analysts expect affordability pain, especially in cities with persistent housing shortages, to be the norm. New norm, for a few more years. I don't love saying that, but here we are.
So let's zoom out for a second. Not just the cities themselves, but the generations. You said it, Lior. Those who bought before 2022 they're loving life right now. Record home equity, locked in those low mortgage rates, massive cushions if they need to tap into it. But everyone else, especially millennial and Gen Z buyers, it's like the finish line is just getting farther away.
That's right. Older homeowners, they're basically sitting on gold. Meanwhile, first-time buyers or anyone who didn't buy before the big flip is looking at record high costs just to get in the door, which is pushing a lot of people, especially younger families, to just keep renting. And that has real consequences like putting off marriage, delaying kids, or saving for retirement because so much income is going to rent instead of home equity,
Yeah, and you really feel this widening wealth gap. Like the American dream stereotype, the thing your parents pushed you to do. It's a lot more like American waiting game now. But you know what's wild? I read there's this explosion in build-to-rent single-family communities. Literally, companies just building whole neighborhoods for people who want a home and yard, but not the mortgage ball and chain. Some families are like, I'd rather rent a nice house in a community than stretch everything just to buy.
Absolutely. The build-to-rent trend is booming. Used to see that more in Sunbelt cities, but now investors are snapping up land in the Midwest, the Southeast, everywhere to create what's basically suburban rental neighborhoods. From an investment standpoint, it makes sense. They're meeting this new demand from families who want space but can't or don't want to buy right now. But on the big picture side, it probably means more folks missing out on that slow wealth climb that home ownership used to guarantee. Rental life is flexible, sure, but it's not the same safety net.
Yeah, and until there's a big reset, whether it's home prices or, a mortgage rate miracle, it really does seem like renting is here to stay for so many. We'll be watching closely. All right, let's wrap up on that for today. But Lior, tell folks where they can find us if they want to keep the conversation going or need mortgage advice.
Sure, head over to Nadlan Capital Group for more resources or reach out to us direct. We love these chats and helping folks navigate through this craziness. And hey, as always, let us know your questions and we might tackle them next time.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll be back soon digging into the next turn in the real estate maze. Take care, Lior.
Thanks, Ruby. See you next time.